Hello, this is JoltNet here, and how on earth do you use annotations and docstrings? Well, permit me to show you. So what we have here is a simple function called doing something which takes this and that and returns the other. And what we're going to do now is annotate them to make it more useful, because me as a developer looking at this, I haven't got a clue what this or that are meant to be, or what the other is really. So let's see if we can make this a little bit easier. So one thing I can do here is by using a colon, I can then say, for example, that I want this to be a stir, and I want that to be a stir as well. And then I can put an arrow right here like that, and I can say that I want to return a stir. Okay, now what's the point of doing this? Well, first of all, it's valid Python syntax, so nothing breaks. But what this allows me to do is to signpost to anyone who's going to look at this in the future that basically this has to be a stir, that has to be a stir, and that this function here also returns a stir. So if we run this now, so I'm going to take all of this, so doing something, and why don't we just print this. I realize we don't really need to illustrate this because it's obvious. So we're going to say this, and we're going to say that. There we go. And off we go. And so, of course, we return this and that, and that's what gets printed. And this is just a way of signposting that that's the fact. But another thing that we can do with this is we can also go ahead and now print doing something. Here we go. Let's go and print that. Dot annotations. And that allows us very, very briefly to have a dictionary-like object printed for us. I'm not sure if it's a dictionary-like object. It allows us to print and say this is going to be a stir, that is going to be a stir, and this whole function here is going to return a stir. All right, which is very, very useful to know. Now, we're not just restricted to having to type this, that, and this other thing right here. What we could do here if we wanted to is just put an arbitrary string to explain what these things are. So this could be a stir or an int, and we could say that that has to be whatever type this is. All right, it has to be whatever type this is, and then you could say will be whatever type this and that are. All right, and so now if we run this and print this, we can see that this could be stir or int. I'm actually going to get rid of myself now because I realized I'm kind of in the way. So this could be a stir or an int. That has to be whatever type this is, and it will return will be whatever type this and that are. Okay, and so basically that's that, and that's fantastic. But another thing that we can do here is we can be a little bit more complex, and we can actually put different types of things in. So, but we're going to do that, I think, another time. So let's think about docstrings now. So a docstring is basically anything that's at the top of your function or class or document, even, hence docstring, that's inside these double speech marks here. Put myself back on again. And let's get rid of that. and whatever I type in here will count as a docstring. And how do I access that? Well, you can either type help and then the name of your function. And let's just see what that does. So now if we run this, oh, invalid syntax. What doesn't it like? What don't we like? It's because I've gone and put that inside my function. So let's just put this down there. There we go. Fantastic. Off we go. And we can see here now that we're actually printing out what that is. And so the same help thing that allows you to get information about, say, an integer or something else. So I'm now getting information about what an integer is and how that behaves. That same function also allows you to get information about your about functions that you write if you include a docstring. Now, the first thing that you should include in your docstring is a brief description of what things do. So a brief description or summary line, and then after that, it's convention to use headings. So you've got a main heading, which is underlined with equal signs, and then you can have subheadings, which are underlined with minus signs. You can have a couple of subheading. So there's another subheading or above the subheading. There you go. And then when you print help, that's going to be usefully printed for you so that you can actually tell what these functions do. So we've got annotations, we've got docstrings, and another way to access your docstring is, I believe, is if I were to print oops, don't want to print that. Is if I were to print doing something. Here we go. Dot underscore docstring. Oops, docstring, that should say. There you go, docstring. And I believe that will also print that for me. Oh, got no attributes. Docstring. Docster. I don't know. There's some kind of attribute though that does allow you to do that. Docs, what is it? Oh my goodness, it's not docs either. Am I gonna have to Google this? Okay, Python. I'm actually gonna just Google this. So Python, so I know my stuff. Docstring, Python docstring. Okay, just so you can see what I'm doing. I'm not ashamed of the fact that I forget things, because it's just one of those things. Let's see what we get here. And how do we access that? So, oh, it's just .doc, is it? It's just .doc. Fine. That's fine. So it's not docs, it's just doc. All right. Shows how much I use that. There you go. And so we've printed it out there by virtue of having said help, but we can also print that here by virtue of having used doc as well. So anyway, thanks very much for watching.